In the previous session, we looked at relational structure, dividing your data into tables and linking them with key values. We also covered the first 3 steps in database design, listing everything you need to capture, identifying repeated data, and breaking most of that data into separate tables. So let's start Access and create a new database. When you start Access, you see this, the Backstage, and what you see here varies depending on what you're doing. At this point, I don't have a database open, so what I see is a list of recent files here and a list of templates. You can start with a blank database or grab a template and start entering data. But notice something here. You can build 2 basic types of databases. Desktop databases run on your computer and Access apps run on the web. Specifically, you host apps on SharePoint 2013, that's your web server, and you can use the databases in most current browsers. And to help you distinguish between the 2 types of databases, the Access apps have a globe icon. So for this course, I'll use a blank desktop database. Click or tap once, enter a name, browse to choose a location if you want to, and then choose Create. The database opens with a single table, and at this point I'm going to switch to a larger database because we need to learn some new terms. Regardless of the type of database you create, all Access databases consist of 5 components called objects. Tables store your data. They're the backbone of your database, and they organize data into fields or columns and records or rows, and I'm going to use the terms field and record in this course because they're industry standards. Queries are questions you ask of your data. What were the 4th quarter sales, for example? Queries can also filter data and do math, such as calculating sums or discounts. The results look like a table, and depending on the type of query, you can add or change data. Forms give your database a finished look, and they can help you enter data quickly and provide buttons for navigating your database. Reports are how you visualize your data. When you need a chart or a graph, you add one to a report. Macros automate your database. They're what makes something happen when you click a button, and they can do repetitive tasks for you. Now, macros are a huge subject, so I won't cover them in this course, but the course summary has links to information about them. So let's get back to our example. The database opened with a single table. What you're seeing here is called Datasheet View, and view is a term you need to remember. Your database objects are always in a view of some kind, either views for creating an object or views for using that object. And as an example, this table is open in Datasheet View, but right-click its tab and I can open it in Design View. This is one of the tools Access gives you for creating and changing tables, and I'll show you how to use it later in this course. This form is open in Form View, but I can also open it in Layout View to add controls or change the form. The same with queries. They have a Design View. The results appear in Datasheet View, and you can open them in SQL View and change the actual code if you need to. Also, remember that some views do both jobs. For example, I can add data to this table, but I can also add fields and change the design. So remember the types of objects, remember views, and in the next video, we'll build the first table.